Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11.
Well, a very pleasant good afternoon, good evening. Welcome into Home Track Heroes. As for the first time here in 2025, it is sprint car time on the show. The Granite Can-Am Shootout in the house with the Northwest Sprint Car Tour in the house, going for $7,500 to win later. I'm Caleb Hart. He's Chad Fitzpatrick. Chad, fun show today, capping it off with sprint cars, but starting it out with Pro 4 trucks and a lot going on in between. We're jam-packed. We better get to her.
We got a lot of different cars to get through, so yeah, great to see 16 sprint cars in the field tonight, so that's a lot better than we've had last year, so great to see the sprint cars making an improvement compared to last year.
We'll see how they end up racing in this one. It's all a main event action for you here on today's show. Big thank you to our track sponsor, our Home Track Heroes sponsor, and that is All Ply Roofing. Show wouldn't be possible without their support. Let's give you a look at the Northwest Pro 4 trucks. They'll be on the 3/8 mile here with your front couple of rows. Matt Green in the 7 truck out of Arlington. Mason Warren in the 2 truck out of Everett, sponsored by Bones Racing. Aaron Green in the 6 truck out of Snohomish, and the 24 truck of Mechanic Cox out of Arlington, sponsored by Northwest Boiler.
The 46 of Cody Cooey out of Snohomish, sponsored by Truck Parts Northwest. The 49 of Calvin Miller, new track record holder out of Arlington, sponsored by Rail Auto Sales of Burlington. The 8 of Shane Green has no home and no sponsor. The 9 of Greg Fawn out of Arlington, sponsored by the Alley Bar and Grill.
Mac Angelides is the 93 truck. He is also homeless, according to our sheet, although I don't think that's actually how we should say it, but that's what I'm going to do. Jeremy Howe is the 12 truck out of Arlington, sponsored by TD Alskog. Cole Cooey is the 26 truck from Snohomish.
And the round out the field, number 16 of Evan Tips. 12 cars make up for 30 laps. Most of this field is actually out of Arlington as well. So, yeah, so very... everyone living up north in this Northwest Pro 4 truck series.
Snohomish, Arlington, Everett, and homeless.
Yeah.
Well, okay, they're not homeless. There's 3 drivers who have not turned in their driver's sheet. That's exactly what
Yeah, so they need to get on that. So
right.
We are gridded up 2 by 2 as we will see the green this time by.
Been a really fun series here over the years for the trucks, and not just in conditions like we have here today at Evergreen Speedway, but they run well in the wet weather as well. We've seen some really good runs from them there.
Oh yes, very interesting to watch. I'm sure they don't really particularly care for it as the green flag flies, as the number, I believe that's the number 7 of Matt Green follows to the very early lead with the number 2 of Mason Warren fighting hard for second. Here comes, and we're 3 wide actually as they go through 3 and 4. They're still trying to figure out our new track record holder going way out wide, and that is Calvin Miller, but Matt Green leads the field in turn number 1.
Calvin really ripping the lips. Something good here as he fades her up. He's a full groove higher than most of the rest of the trucks coming out of turn number 2. Going to follow McKenna Cox down, burying on the inside. The 24 truck is looking for 3rd. The Greens are running 1 and 2. McKenna 3, and Miller in the 4th spot, bidding for 3rd as they head into 1.
Yeah, Miller looks to the inside of McKenna as they come off at turn number 2 down the back straightaway. The top 4 within a close pack of one another. The 2 Greens still leading the field as they go through 3 and 4. McKenna and Miller stuck behind those 2. We're thinking about maybe 3 wide for a moment. No, probably a good idea that they didn't, but the number 6 goes way out wide. Now they're 3 wide.
Look at that, making a green sandwich. Nice job by Cox. Big momentum off the high side. She's retaining 2nd for now, but Miller, who was our first truck race winner of the year, has got the preferred line to the inside of her now. She's going to swing upstairs. She sees room to try to circle around Green. McKenna Cox might have the right strategy for peeling her way up through this top 5. As down the back straightaway, she knows is ahead for the lead.
Yeah, they're 3 wide for the lead as they go into turn 3. Oh, a little contact as McKenna hangs on, but look at the run that Miller has coming off at turn number 4, already right beside McKenna Cox as they go into turn number 1.
From Calvin's point of view, from the Brandy Hood Promotions in-truck shot, you saw she just couldn't get the car down, or the truck down, coming off the corner to close the door, and that allowed Miller to get to the inside. We'll see if that is the race-winning pass just 4 or 5 laps into this, as Calvin Miller has got the lead, and now it's going to be up to Cox to try to find her way back by.
Yeah, we'll watch and see, but now she's in trouble. The number 6 of Aaron Green looking possibly to the inside. Great shot there as they come into turn number 3, single file racing, as we got a good battle for top 3 still. They're slowly starting to pull away from the rest of the field.
Miller with a couple of truck length advantage over Cox. Cox starting to try to build some pad between herself and the 6 truck of Green. The Greens have been fixtures here in the divisions for a long time here at Evergreen Speedway. So they've got a lot of laps around this place. They know how their trucks work. They know when they can push it, when they can't, as we get our first caution of the A-Main.
Looks like turn number 4, the 2 of Mason Warren going around. We'll watch and see what happened here. 12 trucks still on the track. See if you got a little help. No, maybe it looks like just got,
Yeah, tail end might have finished him off, but he was going around already, at least from what we saw here from the front straightaway speed cam. So restack them, re-rack them, and back to action we go with, looks like 8 laps down, 22 to go. Calvin Miller, 1 week, his first week out, and now looking to put a second one in there. McKenna Cox is going to start to his outside, and we will get in truck action from Cody Cooey in the 46, who is on the inside of road number 3, it looks like.
So through 3 and 4 as they come off of turn number 4, and the green flag is out. Calvin Miller and McKenna Cox lead the field into turn number 1, and a good jump for Miller as they come through 1 and 2. He will regain the lead with McKenna and shoots right down to the bottom to protect that second place position.
The race for 3rd, 4th, and 5th is on. That is Cooey trapped on the inside with the 2 greens flanking him. He's got green Aaron version right in front of him, and Matt Green to the outside, pinning him to the bottom of the racetrack. Cooey, though, slingshots underneath, and you'll see him make the move on Aaron Green's 6 truck. He's going to try to slide up into 3rd as they head into turn number 3.
Yeah, he'll grab that 3rd spot. Looks like, completely now with about a truck length ahead of the 7 of Matt Green. Those 2 greens, like what you said earlier, they've been out here for a long time. Those trucks are probably one of the oldest Pro Ford trucks out there. They actually started on the old WWRA Friday night Tornado trucks 15, 16 years ago. We got some more issues. The caution coming out once again.
All right, 2 more trucks involved, including the 16 of Evan Tips and the 93 truck of Mac Angelides. Let's get a look at those 2 and what happened. And, it's going to be, the 16 of Tips just barely collects Angelides there at the very end.
We will rack them and stack them again, and we'll try that one more time. So that was caution number 2, I believe. 2 or 3.
Well, and Calvin Miller's not going to want to see a bunch of these.
No.
Every one of these, spin the tires, tire doesn't fire back off, doesn't get warm once again. A lot of things can happen. The more restarts, the worse it typically is for your leader. You want to get out there, you want to establish, you want to get to traffic and start putting lap trucks in this instance, in between you. So we'll see. It's the 3rd shot. And getting off and going, and we're green.
That was actually a pretty good run for McKenna, but then the 49 just darts right in there, and the truck turns quite well, but she's hanging tough on the outside as they come down the back straightaway, 2 by 2, truck to truck through 3 and 4. She's doing really good up there, but it was starting to notice as the race went on, I was noticing she was fighting maybe a tight handling car.
Okay.
Well, when you're up high like that, it does very well because you're not turning as much.
So, and Cox is making this work out for her. They're still about even Steven coming here into the 3rd corner. Miller, a little power off the bottom. Cox up on the top, and McKenna, who led the last time by, leads another lap just by a nose. This time not a great turn number 2, though, and here comes Miller back to retake the lead. Yeah, the back end got a little loose on her going through 1 and 2. Turn number 1's a little bit difficult compared to probably all the tracks in the Northwest. It's flat when you go into turn 1. You're sharing it with 3 different racetracks compared to turn 3 where it's actually, you got banking. Yep.
So it's really, really hard to actually set up an outside pass going into turn 1 because you don't have that banking to work with yet.
You look at it as well, and McKenna stayed real strong on the outside for those first couple of laps. Now she's faded back a truck length on this, and that could have been exactly what we talked about, maybe a tire cooling off a little more than Miller wanted to, taking a lap or 2 to get back up to where he wanted in terms of tire heat and grip on it. We did see the little bobble coming off the second corner for McKenna, but there's a lot of factors that could have come into her having that lead for a couple of laps there.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, not all of them to do with the 24 truck in that instance.
Yeah, where Calvin may have a long run type of truck where McKenna might have a short run type of truck. And that's exactly what we're starting to see right here. It's starting to shape out. As the race keeps going on, we're just getting to halfway as Calvin Miller is now growing that lead to about 6 to 7 car lengths now, and just 2 to 3 laps.
Yeah, Cox sits second. Cooey has not made massive progress on her. By the way, Cody wants to come in and co-host the show someday.
Oh, okay.
I told him he's got to win first.
Okay.
So. and then we'd still have to think about it.
Well, he's got 2 more positions, so he's got some work to do.
And 16 laps in 14 laps to do it, so better get on it, Kelly. I'm just saying.
Yeah, because it's that easy, right?
Right. Just hit the go button. Yeah. The very loudly decaled Greg Vaughn truck, one of the veterans of the division, now working on the 7 of Matt Green. You saw them battling. There's Vaughn looking downstairs. Greg dropped like 50-something pounds before getting into the truck this year. Impressive body.
Wow, that is very impressive.
Impressive body transformation for him. Well done for Greg, who's a retired Boeing guy.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and that'll definitely help you with that racing. When you you can say what you want, but this is also a very, very physical sport.
Yes.
And I used to be about 40 pounds heavier too. And when I lost 40 pounds, I could definitely tell it makes it a lot easier to drive the cars. They're still side by side, truck to truck, as they go way out wide. One heck of a battle. I believe that's for 7th place, as now Matt Green will move back up to 8th, but trying to look to the inside, but way up front there, Calvin Miller is in his own zip code.
Goodbye, Calvin Miller is now down to 10 laps to go in the very strong 49 truck, and McKenna's kind of in her own zip code all by herself in 2nd, just waiting for something to break loose. As you're going to look from the nose of her truck into following Miller, who's almost not in sight, depending on where that sunshine comes in.
Yeah, he's opened up to about almost a full straightaway lead. As Cooey now kind of in his own zip code, the 2 Cooeys
That's right.
now starting to fight for that final podium spot. We'll see what will happen there. Make up for a good battle or make it a very awkward battle.
That's right.
We'll watch and see what happens here as we got 9 laps to go. The 2 orange and black trucks fighting for that final podium spot as they go into turn number 1.
Running themselves in closer. The way that paint scheme is, it almost makes it look like he has a gigantic tire smiley when the tire smiley is only a little bit big on the side of the 46 truck.
Yeah.
Take a look at it next time it comes by, because you've got an exhaust vent right in the side that kind of gives it the illusion as, the Elevate Racing Media drone getting a good shot. Yeah, there's a tire smiley in that 4.
Yep, but not as big. Yeah, definitely an optical illusion. But once again, we go up to our leader, our new track record holder, Calvin Miller, is just keep gaining and gaining and gaining as we keep going on here.
Yep.
Great position to be in.
Right, we've talked, this is a Pro 4 truck division, so these are 4 cylinders out there. As we get a caution flag here, it is Mason Warren truck pointing in the wrong direction down the back straightaway once again. And for the 2nd time, Calvin Miller, 3rd time, Calvin Miller sees a caution flag that he does not want to, and especially getting so close with such a huge established advantage on the racetrack.
I have been in those positions before. It is very stressful. Well, definitely when you get to single-digit amount of laps left, too.
Yeah.
I don't like that. But you know what? It's a part of racing, so you got to deal with it.
All right, so we'll see how they handle it. That gives Cox another chance to start to the outside of Miller. And again, last time, she led the first 2 laps after the restart. Let's see if this changes at all. It's an all Cooey row number 2. Vaughn and Green in row number 3. And to that extent, Cole Cooey is going to go to the 3rd groove here. Not only to try to pass Brother Dearest, but try to do something with the front row as Calvin Miller gets an excellent restart.
Yeah, that was definitely the best restart and even start that Calvin Miller's had within this race. As it was looking almost like we're going to go 4 wide as the back end goes out on Cooey, as both of them actually, as they go into turn number 1. Now it's going to be a battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th now, because Calvin just keeps gaining and gaining as we keep going.
Yeah, Cody Cooey and Cole Cooey. Cody's in the 46 truck. Cole is in the 26 truck. Those 2 duking it out in behind them. And you can see Cole was using all the racetrack. We got 2 together. And once again, the 12 truck of Jeremy Howe and the 16 of Evan Tips, the 2 involved. There is Howe's multicolored 12. Let's take a look and see how it happened.
Oh,
yeah,
a little help there.
He got just a hair of help. So we need to take a commercial break. We're going to come back. We'll finish up the Northwest Pro 4 truck A main event as you are watching this week's version of Home Track Heroes here on Seattle 11.
Has your roof suffered some damage, or is it just time to replace an old roof? At All Ply Roofing, we specialize in torch down, asphalt shingles, and TPO roofing materials for both residential and commercial buildings. We are certified contractors with GAF and Malarkey, Polyglass Quantum Contractors, and members of the Master Builders Association. Serving the greater Western Washington region, visit our website at allplyroofing.com to schedule your free estimate. All Ply Roofing, putting quality roof systems over your head.
Okay, y'all, we got 10 orders coming in.
Starting a business is never easy, but starting at 8 months pregnant, that's a different story. I couldn't slow down. We were starting a business from the ground up. People were showing up left and right, and so did our business needs. The Chase e-card made it easy. When you go for something big like this, your kids see that, and they believe they can do the same.
Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase with the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card from Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours.
With Chase, you can get a debit card for your kids' independence and parental notifications, so you can keep an eye on how they're using it.
Still on budget.
Control for parents, freedom for kids. That's family banking from Chase.
I like it. It's a party. Get in here. Do you like it?
Wow.
Yes, I do.
It's great, isn't it?
Gilmore.
The Gilmore Girls.
Weeknights at 5. Watch Start TV on Broadcast Channel 11.2 and on these and other providers.
Well, you are watching the Northwest Pro 4 Truck main event with 5 laps to go as they get ready to come back to green flag action here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. I'm Caleb Hart. He's Chad Fitzpatrick. Our program brought to you by All Ply Roofing. And to the green one more time, Chad. This is dangerous for your race leader Miller again because they are all over the place. And
3 wide.
Yes, indeed. That 3 wide might have been the only saving grace for him there, as Cooey getting the outside of Cox prevented her from getting the corner exit she was looking for, because she had Cox into Cooey Cole version, and now McKenna goes around off the bumper of Matt Green. Well, that was an unfortunate chain of events for a lot of drivers there. Let's get a second look for it at a Cole Cooey, who's had happier days.
Yeah, that's just unfortunately fighting for the same real estate, and that tends to happen.
It will. Well, Cooey with the extremely aggressive move. I mean, he made it. He got to the groove. He was there, but boy, it doesn't leave a lot of space in between and underneath.
Yeah, that's definitely difficult. Looks like a lot of sheet metal damage on pretty much all the cars that were involved, so very unfortunate for the 3 to 4. Actually, looks like 5 trucks involved.
Yeah, and you look at it. Take a look at the Cox truck. Here's from the inside, right? Cody's getting squeezed down. He's doing everything he can, but you can almost see McKenna lifting before she gets into Cole on the outside. Let's watch it from this point of view. Kind of hard to see from ground level, but if we get another up top shot, or if you guys are DVRing this, want to roll it back and see it in real time. I swear I saw that 24 almost right at the point of impact lift.
Yeah.
Right, trying to avoid everything that was happening. Here's another look from the Elevate Racing Media drone.
It looks like just unfortunately a little bit of contact through all 3 of them, and that's unfortunately the result that no one was looking for.
Right. It takes out your second place truck and your fourth place truck, at least as far as the restart goes. Like physically on the track, you were like going to be 3rd, 4, 2, somewhere all in there, but absolutely jumbles up the top 5. We did not complete a lap on the restart, so we're single filing here in the trucks on this one until we double up. And then
maybe we are doubling
It's all
up.
fine. It's fine.
They were just being a little slow at it.
I'm allowed to be wrong once a year. That's twice now. So
Well, maybe. Well, this is a very odd. Okay, they're just not all together yet. I think we're only down to 5 trucks. So
no,
wow.
that is actually the brand new Granite Falls restart, where you go 2-1-2.
2-1-2.
Yeah, no, they do
Granite
things.
Falls.
They do things different in Granite Falls, and frankly, that's how that's going to restart be.
Well, I believe it was free for them to get in tonight here as well at Evergreen Speedway, part of the Salute to Cities. But that actually made the race a little bit better. Oh, Greg, hold on.
Look out, Greg.
And we might have looked like maybe possibly the 2 Cooeys make it into the top 3 now, as Greg, the back end of his truck, went around, as the 26 of Cole Cooey looks to the inside, grabs the final podium spot. White flag, 1 to go for Calvin Miller.
It's a Cooey party up in the top 30 one more time. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, this race has been Calvin Miller's, other than a situation for a second or two on a couple of restarts. Once you've gotten out and into it, he's been the dominant truck here, and he will take home 2nd feature win of 2025 here at Evergreen Speedway. As there's the checker flags, and Miller takes the W over Cody and Cole Cooey. Or am I a lap early?
I think we're a lap early.
The ticker
you know
lied to me.
It did.
That's fine.
That was my fault. So you know what? It's not going to change anything.
Well, now you got to say all the nice things about Calvin here in this last quarter mile.
Well, here
right?
he comes off of turn number 4. Checkered flag for Calvin Miller, Cody Cooey, and Cole Cooey. That's your top 3. Well, maybe it is. We'll have to watch and see here. I think we have an issue here.
You know, I'm just going to wait until JD throws the flag.
Yeah, just throw the flag.
Right? Yeah, okay.
So we got a little bit of some issue on the old graphic on the left-hand side there. So, okay, checkered flag now.
You sure? I bet.
Checkered flag.
All right, checkered flag. Just remember, folks, we're not volunteers. We're just not very good. As we go down to the podium for our winners' interviews.
Cole, third place run tonight. Good finish for you up here on the podium. What's it like getting to wheel a truck around that 380 oval?
Expensive. We've blown up like 3 times, blew like 8 transmissions. Thing didn't make half of the stuff we were supposed to make today. Didn't go into gear on first practice, had to take a transmission out. It's pretty fun.
But a good finish. Third place got to feel good after all that. Who do you want to thank for helping to get out of here?
Machias Materials, Doug Gearhart Trucking, JJ Cooey Trucking, Truck Parts Northwest, J2 Racing, and we'll call it there.
All right, let's give it up. Third place tonight, driver of the 26, Cole Cooey. Cody Strong, second place run tonight. What more did you think you need to catch up to Calvin?
Oh, I don't know what I needed, but I needed something.
A tough race tonight, war of attrition at times. When you have a lot of restarts like that, what goes through your mind?
It just makes me nervous because I knew my brother was right on me somewhere.
And who do you want to thank for helping to get out here?
Machias Material, JJ Cooey Trucking, Doug Gearhart Trucking, Completely Landscape, Cole Carson Trucking, and my mom and dad.
All right, let's give it up. Second place tonight, driver of the 46, Cody Cooey. All right, Calvin, 2 starts here at Evergreen Way, 2 wins. You set a track record earlier in the night. How are things going for you and the team?
I can't see nothing bad. It was a great night, all in all. Very entertaining race for me. All them restarts leading was had to be a good show for all you guys, I'm sure. But that was probably the longest truck race at Monroe that we've had here so far.
Yeah, well, talk about the amount of cautions. There's a lot. When you're having to control the restart, you're in the lead. Are you worried when the caution flag was coming out, or were you feeling confident?
50-50. I mean, I knew I had something going into one, and it was just how many times I could keep doing it with the rear tires the way they are. They were getting pretty bad the last few restarts.
Who do you want to thank for helping to get out here to the top step of the podium?
First off, I would like to thank my sister for coming to every single race that I've had here. My mom and dad, my grandma and grandpa, and my brother for coming out to support me today. Precision 4th Street, Buck Tom's Trucking, Brandy Hood Promotions, and Rally Auto.
All right, let's give it your race winner and your new track record holder, Calvin Miller.
The fabulous Ben Iman with our trophy ceremony down trackside. Congratulations to all 3 drivers in the Northwest Pro 4 trucks. We'll settle in. We're also 4-cylinder on the 3/8 mile, but this is our fantastic BECU mini stock division. Racing's been really good for them here this year. Let's take a look out front, and this one is Tegan Bjornsson, the 59 from Arlington, sponsored by the Noel Corporation. To his outside, Ryan Hausenfluck, the 33 out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Bees Fab and Tuning. Row number 2 is Gavin Ballou, the 12 out of Marysville. After Build LLC sponsors him. And his outside, Paisley Bender. Car number 18 out of Snohomish, sponsored by Allied Motorsports.
Brandon Lindbergh in the 88 out of Monroe, sponsored by Tire Pros. The 97, Zach Bristol out of Snohomish, sponsored by Racers Against Child Abuse. The 221, Lyndon Smith out of Everett, sponsored by PRCBD. And the 16 out of Lake Stevens, Travis Woodward, sponsored by Simon & Son Towing.
Watch inside row number 5. That is Cole Reardon. Reardon has been arguably the fastest car in the division so far this year at a Granite Falls, sponsored by Bob T. Builder. To his outside, coming out of Eatonville, it's 92 of Ashley Rasmussen, sponsored by A&J Custom Metals. Row behind them is Ronnie Absher, the 72 out of Federal Way, sponsored by United States Seafood. 61 is Randy Ditmars out of Snohomish, sponsored by Debbie and Dan Cherneski.
Our final row, the 14 Austin Kramer out of Snohomish, sponsored by Northwest Security and Sound. And our final car, the 11 of Keegan Mooney out of Bellevue, sponsored by Custom Auto Repair Specialist. As that is 14 cars for 30 laps. I believe we did have 16 on the ground. Unfortunately, a couple did not make it to the A main. So I believe that is the 3rd week in a row of having a full field for the mini stocks.
It's a fantastic thing. Traffic makes for better racing at all times. We'll watch and see how they sort out as Don fairly pulls the Speedway Chevrolet pace car into the infield. I think Don's got his San Francisco Giants hat on tonight as he rolls around. And we'll work our way out of the corner and get this one underway.
Through 3 and 4, very, very slow start to our NASCAR mini stock main event as we are green flag off and running here as we're thinking about 3 wide going into turn number 1. The 59, that is Tegan Bjornsson, grabs the lead, but here comes the 32 with the most dangerous last name ever, that is Ryan Hassenfleck as they come into turn number 3.
Paisley Bender was thinking about going to the Cooey playbook. She went up to that third groove, at least on the start, now tucks in. She's working down low on Ryan to try to pick off that position. And she's going to have it going into the corner. Looking at second from Baloo in the 12. He's kind of strung up in the middle, but he's happy there for the time being. 97 of Bristol coming through, and our former Stinger 8 champion Brandon Lindbergh is taking the mini stock racing quite well. He sits 5th.
And going way out wide was the 32 Hassenfleck. He almost lost it, but out front, I believe he was a rookie last year, the 59 of Bjornsson, with the comfortable lead with about 2 car lengths. Oh, I guess he is a rookie this year and doing great. Oh my, as we got a, oh, that could have been way worse. Oh, yeah, that did. That
and
pretty
still
bad.
Caught the tire wall in the back straightaway, the 18 of Paisley Bender, but you and I were seeing the exact same thing depending on how that car kept going. I think that's a much more gentle finish that we were envisioning. Because anytime you're sideways like that, as long as you are, back end catches and spins her back around. So tough for Paisley is contact between her and the 12 of Baloo. And that's one of those things, like, without getting the in-car view down the back straightaway, it's going to be hard for us to tell, did someone come up? Did someone cut down a little? Yeah. There's the slow-mo of it. We know the 18 car is wrecked at the moment. Here's going to be a good look. And
it was like at the same time.
Yeah, it's hard to not say, and you look at the way of it, without casting too much judgment, you can call it a bit of a racing deal.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you're more than welcome to make your own opinions back at home.
I think we'll leave it there.
That's a good place to be. So we have got to get this group back together. Unfortunately, those were cars inside your top 5, so some guys are going to move up and shuffle forward. And out front, that little bit of an advantage that had been staked by your leader, Tegan Bjornsson, goes bye-bye as we're going quad box here for the restart.
So this will be restart number 2. Well, the first restart as we got Bjornsson and the 97 of Zach Bristol. He moved up 2 spots there. So we go through 3 and 4. Very, very slow start once again as we go green. And that was a good start for Zach Bristol on the outside, using that VW horsepower as he will grab the lead off at turn number 2.
Sneaks it away from Bjornsson and gets down early. Bjornsson's going to sit in second. Lindbergh has lost a spot to the 221 of Lyndon Smith, and we know how fast that race car is. As Lyndon has found the high groove, it's hooked up and hauling, and he's trying to follow Bristol in and past Bjornsson. He'll do so. Bjornsson now under fire as they were stiff and high and stiff and low to both get by him. That's the 4 of Reardon, the 88 of Lindbergh. And the wash wide by Bjornsson costs Reardon. That allows Lindbergh to get to the inside.
Yeah, Lindbergh definitely doing a little dirt tracking style through 1 and 2 as they go through. And we'll see if he can do it again. Yeah, no, we can't. But he's using that Ford Mustang off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway once again, trying to fight for that. I believe that's that 3rd spot as they are still fighting for a great battle for that final podium spot. But here comes looky to the inside. That is the 4 of Cole Reardon, I believe, our winner for the first 2 main events?
At least one of the 2, that's for sure. Is down to the bottom goes Reardon as he sneaks by Bjornsson. Reardon, one of the guys trying to make Honda power work in the field, if I remember right. As your battle up front's getting good. Bristol and Lyndon Smith were nose to tail in just a second of the speed cam, but we're going to keep watching 3rd. Reardon and Lindbergh, a car length now 2 away, as they continue to roll here around the 3/8 mile on Evergreen Speedway. This segment brought to you by Angel of the Winds Casino Resort. Now with sports betting, if you think you can pick a winner, prove it at Angel of the Winds Casino Resort, the only home for sports betting north of Seattle, exit 210 off I-5 in Arlington.
So through 3 and 4, still a good battle shaping up for that top spot. Zach Bristol and Lyndon Smith both used to race Hornets together years ago. So they, looking to the inside. Bristol saying, hey, buddy, you're going to have to go to the outside. Kind of looks a little familiar there as they go through 1 and 2.
We had seen this a time or 2 already today, and here comes Reardon, not wasting any time. As soon as he is clear to 3rd, he is right up in that main event battle.
Yeah, and we got a perfect battle shaping up for the first top 3 spots right there. While those 2 keep fighting for that lead, it's just going to open up for Cole Reardon as they go into turn 3. Linden to the inside. That's slowing them both down. So we'll watch and see what happens if whatever Cole can do, if they're still side by side, if he's going to make it 3 wide or not. But that is a clean pass on Zach Bristol, and Bristol tries to go down to the bottom, but can't quite make it happen.
And Reardon is right there to jump to it and take advantage. Cole Reardon moves into second now, as he noses ahead of Bristol. He will be charged with pursuing Linden. Down low he goes. Reardon shows himself there for Smith. Smith hangs on right now. Slower traffic looms just barely ahead of him as you watch the in-car from Reardon down the back straightaway.
Look at that. I mean, he had such a good speed coming off of turn 2. I mean, he almost made the pass midway down the backstretch, but had to slow down. As we got some lap traffic, Rasmussen is going to have to split the difference there and give our new leader, that will be the 4 of Cole Reardon, looking for 2 in a row.
Yeah, wrong place, wrong time for the 92 car as far as Lyndon Smith was concerned. Forced him to swing wider than he wanted to. And now Cole Reardon gets to rabbit in front of this field as we are closing in on halfway home. 13 and 17 laps left on the ledger of this one. And bye-bye Cole. Holy cow, is he stretching quick.
It's very interesting to see. Oh, we got a caution. Looks like we'll see what happens.
92 apparently.
Oh, spun in turn 2 right there. So we will see. I believe Cole already had 1 lap in, so we'll watch and see what happens here.
Oh, yep, comes down and just overhooks it coming off the corner. I've seen that spin more than a few times where you're, oh gosh, I'm going around, you try to snap the wheel back and just nothing wants to work correctly and just snaps you there.
Yep, that happens to all of us.
Watch the wheel action here.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, around, and that one correction is actually kind of what sent you careening sideways here at the very end. We have got more from the BECU Mini Stock main event. It's coming up next here after a commercial break on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11.
Meet the Moore family. They switched from cable internet to Ziply Fiber and got so much more. Mr. Moore got more upload speed for next level gaming and live streaming to the masses. Mason Moore got even more done for his sneaker business, quickly uploading HD product demos and video conferencing without freezing.
Brad, you're on mute.
And now that her family doesn't need her for tech support, Mrs. Moore has more time to stream games into overtime.
Let's go!
Get more of what you love by switching to Ziply Fiber for $65 less per month than cable at ziplyfiber.com.
At Dubin Law, we approach our injured clients with empathy and compassion. We return your calls promptly and give regular updates. We ask you to focus on your recovery while we get tough with the insurance companies. And we don't take a dime until you win. So we only celebrate after justice has been served. Call Dubin Law today for the compensation you deserve. Dubin Law. Tough, reliable, human.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles.
Now get employee pricing available across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Employee pricing. You pay what we pay. Only from your local Ford dealer.
Well, we're just about halfway through the BECU Mini Stock main event here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. He's Chad Fitzpatrick. I'm Caleb Hart. Back to action we go, coming off the caution flag. 17 laps remaining. Cole Reardon had just snuck the lead away about a lap ago. Lyndon Smith will be to his outside. Zach Bristol and Brandon Lindbergh in row number 2 coming up here for the restart.
The Honda and the Ford in the first row, as we got VW and Ford as well in the second row as they come off at turn number 4. We'll watch and see what happens here, and we are green dead even at the line momentarily, but that was a great start once again for Cole Reardon as they go into turn number 1.
Reardon will lead coming out of the corner. Smith, we know that car works well on the high line, but Cole Reardon's had so much speed here this year that Lyndon might have to tuck in and make some laps down around the short path around the racetrack to figure out what he's going to do. Reardon, Smith, Bristol, top 3 unchanged after the restart, with Lindbergh trying to force his way up in there.
Yeah, that 4 car has some really good speed coming off the corner. That car is definitely hooked up. It's been hooked up all year long, And it's definitely interesting to see how the mini stocks have been working this year. They did do a lot of rule changes over the offseason. Not more so new rules, it's more so kind of how the rule book was written years ago. Went back to the pound per cc rule book.
Yep.
So it's definitely evened out, in my opinion, just from an outsider looking in the playing field.
You look at it, and this division was very Mustang dominated for quite a bit of time. And that is, you want an even playing field, and especially in a class like this, the variety in car types, make and model is part of the fun.
Yeah, there are so many different makes and models in this class. It's always been like that, so it's great to see. This is definitely a good entry-level class, and if you race this class for the rest of your life, great too. You got to race anything.
There's, just in and of itself, there's the front wheel versus rear wheel drive battle that we've talked about more than a few times, and how do you want to make the technology hook up, what works for you. We'll talk more about that in a second. First, we got to say a big thank you to Coastal Community Bank. Community is our middle name. The Coastal Bank staff takes the time to understand your business and help you move it forward. Coastal Community Bank has multiple locations throughout the region to handle every bank you need. Details are online, coastalbank.com. That is coastalbank.com.
So we see a good battle shaping up for the 7th and 8th spot between Gavin Blue. He's slowly starting to make his way back to mid-pack as he was involved in the first accident. Had to put him to the back, so he's slowly working his way through. That's a good battle for that 4th and 5th position. Here comes Paisley Bender from the back of the pack as well, trying to hop into that top 5 position as well.
And a guy we haven't talked about at all yet, Travis Woodward, the veteran, brand new driving suit underneath him here this week. He's putting the pressure on Lindbergh for 4th right now. Our program here on Home Track Heroes brought to you by All Ply Roofing, as they are flying around this place. Quickly down to 9 laps to go. Cole Reardon is absolutely picking him up and putting him down.
Oh yeah, this is definitely looking like the Northwest Pro 4 Truck main event as Calvin Miller was starting to go along. Same thing with Cole Reardon. As we keep logging the laps, the farther he gets away from 2nd. So perfect thing for him is Travis Woodward still trying every which way possible to get around the 88. The John Bender lookalike 88 of Brandon Lindbergh as they go into turn number 1.
The JBR car's always so fast in 4-cylinder competition, and right now you've got them sit in position 4 and position 6 as they will sneak underneath Rasmussen.
The 3 Fords, actually 4 Fords now.
Yes, all in that run, as we were just talking about the previous Ford domination. That's one thing. I mean, John and the JBR crew know how to get a Mustang cornering and get that power down to the racetrack, especially this mini stock class.
And with a lot of the mini stocks, there was a lot of trading over the off season.
Yeah.
So a lot of cars some were built from scratch, some were being sold. So this class has definitely improved within the last couple of years. And it's kind of funny because this class is known for one year you're having an okay year and the next year is great, but I think it's a lot of times because the people are moving up to prolates and vice versa.
Notable here, Bobby Fischer had such a strong year last year as one of the cars of this group that did not make the call for the main event today. So we are lacking a Bobby Fischer who would be right up here and challenging for this feature win, you would think.
Most definitely is that battle for 3rd or for 4th, 5th, and 6th is definitely shaping up good. But then we go back to Zach Bristol, who is sitting in that 3rd position, all in his lonesome as well. Same thing with the 221 and Lyndon Smith. Those 3, I should say, in the top 3 are out just for a nice Saturday night drive at this point, as we will have 3 laps to go.
Yeah, something drastic's going to have to happen between the 3 of them for anything to change at this point in time. But lucky for us, that great almost nose-to-tail battle, car length or less, separating 4th, 5th, and 6th. The 88 of Brandon Lindbergh, the 16 of Travis Woodward, and the 18 of Paisley Bender coming down to the very end. As 2 to go on the clock, and fun little challenge here for Paisley, still relatively young in her racing career, against the veteran Woodward, who is a very good defensive driver. This is going to take something for Paisley. Let's see if she can figure it out.
So white flag 1 to go for Cole Reardon, as it has been a pretty, I would say maybe not so easy, but it's definitely been not so much of a challenge for him for tonight.
It's a comfortable win, that's for sure. As he'll come off the corner, we are sure the checkered flag is throwing this time, and to the win goes Cole Reardon. Give 2nd to Lyndon Smith. Give 3rd to Zach Bristol. 4th, 5th, and 6th coming across the line. You'll see them in our screen. And right after that, we'll jump trackside for the Angel Winds Casino Resort Podium.
All right, Zach, third place run tonight for the 97 team. You were out in front for a while, but got run down from the cars behind you. How happy are you with the podium?
I'm very happy, especially I think 10 laps in, we had no brakes left. I couldn't enter the corner like I wanted to, and that's where Lyndon and Cole got me. And this is set up a little bit. We tried to go loose a little more on it, and it didn't do it enough. And I mean, for third place, so car straight, we had a good time, smile on my face. That's hard to argue with that.
Who do you want to thank for helping to get the 97 out here week in, week out?
Well, he's not here tonight. Nat Barber, Amy Barber, for letting me run that beautiful Volkswagen. FTG boys, always helping out in the shop. My spotter, Doug Bennett, he jumped in since we kind of skeleton crew this week. Everybody's out of town. Jimmy Powers, my beautiful girlfriend, Sarah, Tommy Kenny Hibbs, Damon Claiborne's back there tonight. Haas and Flux obviously are always helping us out. And Nat's Little Deal of Racers Against Child Abuse. Check it out on Facebook. It's a great cause. And obviously my sister Morgan also for putting out with me, my #1 fan here. And thank you fans for coming out. Thankfully weather is looking great, and hope you enjoy yourselves tonight, and hopefully the sprint cars put a great show on for you.
Let's give it up. Third place tonight, driver of the 97, Zach Bristol. Lyndon, strong second place run tonight, but just had to get to that 4. What more did you think you needed?
I mean, I don't know. Cole's car is fast. He's a fast driver. It's going to take a lot to catch him this season, but we'll get there.
Yeah, that run ran mostly green most of the night. How does the car feel over an extended run like that?
Our car's pretty good as staying stable. It doesn't adjust a lot throughout the race, but they're definitely, by the end, you're pretty tight.
Who do you want to thank for helping you get out here tonight?
I got to give a huge thank to Dave Riddell. He's my crew chief. Without him, car wouldn't be what it is today. JBR, they've been helping me out. My grandma, my grandpa, Joel, my spotter, my stepdad, my mom, the best emotional sport you could ask for. I got to give a huge thanks to PRCB, Bosworth Trucking and Grading, Central Welding, and just anybody who's helped me get to this point.
Let's give it up. Second place tonight, driver of the 221, Lyndon Smith. Cole, a great run for the 4. It's been a good start to the season for you and the team. Just how are you feeling after a couple of weeks in the car?
Oh, I feel great. Couldn't be better.
That car is wicked fast, and you're keeping it tuned in. Who's helping you get that car out week in, week out?
Oh, man, I got to thank my crew, my girlfriend Jenny, Royce Tanner, Lucas, Sean Norton. This is impossible without a good crew, and I appreciate them more than they even know. My sponsors, Bob T. Builder, Royce Tanner Racing, NPM Welding, there's Full Throttle Graphics, Bickford Trailers, TransLab, Beast Fab and Tuning, Brandon Welch, he was out here tuning last week, keeping the motor running as good as it does. I couldn't do it without any of them. And thanks for all the fans. Thank you, Evergreen Speedway. Thank you, BECU. And that's it.
Let's give it up. Your race winner, driver of the 4, Cole Reardon.
Victorious again for Cole Reardon. Congratulations to him. A fantastic start for the year for Cole. All right, forward we go. Super stock figure 8 time. First time we have seen the figure 8 course here on the program, the Monroe Grocery Outlet Super stock figure 8s. The Cowboy John Carlson running for Bill Fleischacker this week in the 36, and Tasha Dunn, the 369, right next to him out of Sultan, sponsored by All Ply Roofing LLC. Papa's Bar sponsors the 36 of Carlson. Second row, 78, Jeff Anderson out of Snohomish. Family and friends support that car. Outside of him, the one-armed bandit, Quentin Borison in the 5 from Aberdeen, sponsored by Mary's Towing.
The 20 is Skylar Cruz out of Covington, sponsored by Big Truck Service out of Fife. The 76S of Chris Southard out of Everett, sponsored by All Solve Plumbing. The 45 is Chevy Vincent out of Darrington, sponsored by Pro H&S. And the 17X Rick Yargis out of Stanwood, sponsored by McCarthy General Contractor.
Row behind them is the 66 of Rick Jones. Rick sponsored by Spanky's Twisted Cartoons. To the outside of him, it's the 67 of Mackenzie Needs out of Monroe, sponsored by BECU. Row behind them, Tom Sherman, the 65 out of Monroe, sponsored by Zeke's Drive-In. And to his outside, the 11, last feature winner here in the class, is Blaine Manning, sponsored by Be Happy Carpet Cleaning. Final row all by himself, Devin Jenkins, the 195 out of Maltby, and I'd hit that motorsports car.
So 1 to go this time by, or this green flag this time by, is I will say it, this class has been a little on the rough side so far this year, so hopefully it might be a little bit smoother, a little bit cleaner. We will find out in the next 30 laps or so if they're on their best behavior as we come off a turn 4 green flag.
Good news, some of those cars that have been roughed up are going to be in better shape as done in the 369, right into the 78 of Anderson, and call him Chad Nostradamus Fitzpatrick, as already we are,
Well, that was a series of unfortunate events right there. So
it was.
We got
already took out a Uke tire, already got a tire off a car flying out of nowhere.
I actually think the wheel is still on the 269. I think it completely debeated off the wheel. We'll see here.
Borison's perspective, get in and hang on. And it was the right rear, which I don't think made contact with anything. What in the world?
So that was interesting. Okay, now we see it.
Yeah, it got clipped.
Yeah.
All right.
So the tire may still be good. You know, those are very expensive tires. So hopefully in her case, that is still good. This was a 10-car invert, so that was pretty close to being a full invert. Yeah, we got a little bit of auto bowling going on here.
Jeff Anderson caught it from every single direction there, although, like, you look at the way that sequenced out, he was trying to get to the low groove when it may not have been available to him. I mean, not yet. All right, so after the chaos of the opening try, the front of the field's going to look slightly different, although Anderson's car's still rolling. Look at that.
That's very good. I'm afraid to say anything now throughout the rest of the race.
I think you laid a good enough whammy there on the opening lap. We should be all right. We still have 12 of the 13 on the move. So.
And this class is still growing. We're missing about 10 cars.
Yeah, Sheridan Vincent's coming back. We know that.
The Grizz Doug Delfell should be out very, very soon.
We'll see Jeff Talbert at some point in
time.
We know that. And there is more. I just can't think of them off the top of my head because we're racing. And it went from an interesting front row with Carlson and Tasha Dunn to Quentin Morrison starting on the outside of row number 1. And, you know, Cowboy's pretty darn good. And that Fleischacker car is getting really fast week in and week out between Cowboy and Steve Peters being in it every once in a while. However, the 5 cars got more race wins and championships than just about anybody in the past decade here. That's a tough draw.
Probably between both of them, there's easily 80 wins or so. As we got Jeff Anderson going around in the north turn. We stay green thus far, but back to what I was saying, between the Cowboy and the One-Armed Bandit, probably over 10 championships, many figure 8 nationals, 60 minutes of fear wins, and over 50 main event wins easily.
Yeah, the only thing we're missing is Steve Cox, and it'd be like the perfect front 3.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and apparently Steve will be coming out at some point.
Oh, yeah, we'll see him. He's in something at least once every year at Evergreen Speedway.
60 minutes or figure 8 nationals, one or the other, we'll see Steve.
As we get some intersection traffic already, as we are only 3 laps into this, so we are starting to spread them out now.
Well, they are going to have to, because the intersection makes a bunch of fun. The 65 of Tom Sherman just going to hang out and stop. Give us a good look at the Zeke's Drive-In sponsor in the rear corner. We'll take a break. We've got more Superstock Figure 8 main event coming up next here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11.
You grew up loving cars. We're here to help you love the drive. Tire Pros.
Living with opioid addiction can be a struggle. Sublocade with counseling is for adults with moderate to severe opioid addiction who have started treatment with a dose of oral buprenorphine or are being treated with buprenorphine. Sublocade may help you keep moving towards recovery. Sublocade continuously releases the medicine buprenorphine all month with no real daily ups and downs. Buprenorphine is known to reduce cravings and block the rewarding effects of opioids.
Sublocade may cause harm or death if injected in a vein. As an opioid, it may cause serious life-threatening breathing problems. Ask about naloxone for opioid overdose. Get emergency help right away if you're faint, dizzy, sleepy, confused, have problems breathing, seeing or talking, or if naloxone is given. Don't take with other opioids, benzos, alcohol, or other drugs, including street drugs. This can cause severe drowsiness, decreased awareness, breathing problems, coma, and death. In emergencies, tell medical staff you're on Sublocade for opioid dependence. This isn't a full list of risks and side effects. Talk to your doctor and read patient label for more information.
Don't give up. Ask a doctor if Sublocade can help you keep moving towards recovery.
Superstock Figure 8 main event is just a handful of laps in. We will get right back to her here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. I'm Caleb Hart. He's Chad Fitzpatrick. Big thank you to All Ply Roofing, our sponsor here on Home Track Heroes all year long. We're 3 laps in, and we're going Delaware style. That's right, Delaware leader on point, doubled up 2x2 in behind him. For Quentin Borison, who was led from the very get-go, off of the big old cow catcher front bumper of John Carlson in the upper right-hand corner. What a cool point of view that GoPro is. And thank you to Brandy Hood Promotions, Ashley and Saxon for getting those all rigged up for us as we're ready to go back to green.
Back to green as it is status quo, the top 3. They are actually still trying to figure out who the top 3 will be, as now look at Chevy Vincent now moves up to that 3rd spot as they are still trying to find 4th, 5th, all the way on back there, trading paint as looked like, and here comes I believe that was our fast time qualifier, Mackenzie Dietz, slowly working her way through the field as well, just slithering on by the 66, and that is Rick Jones.
Look out, Rick, 67 car coming through and coming strong here early in this one, as Dietz taking a look to the inside of Southard in the 76, and Chris pushing wide off of what we call the North Pole, or the left-hand corners where you're turning left. This is the South Pole, or the right-hand corners, and yeah, Mackenzie's on rails. That car is fast.
Yeah, most definitely really fast. Fast time qualifier, like we said, and she just slowly slithering her way. Did a great job missing those 2 wrecks at the beginning of the race, as we got the 78 of Jeff Anderson stopped in the intersection, trying to avoid contact, as now he's stuck once again.
Yeah, you can see the car can move. He's just picking a spot. He knows he's down a lap already, and no point in tearing it up unnecessarily, as they're going wide for it. And there's Vincent dropping a spot to Dietz. Mackenzie Dietz is just on the hammer, and Blaine Manning's following her through. Last week's feature, or the last race's winner in Blaine Manning, has definitely got a good rhythm and confidence on his own.
Yeah, he definitely had to work for that one the last time, the super stock figure 8's route. So Chevy Vincent will move back to 4th. 5th is Blaine Manning, and 3rd is Mackenzie Dietz. And like I said, I've been watching her race for many years, and she maneuvers through traffic so well, and it's so nonchalant how she makes it through. It's very exciting to watch.
If we get another in-car from her, hopefully we will at some point in time, I want to go through the things that she's got, not necessarily on her dash, but up on that flat panel next to her, because there are a lot of different devices up there that have a lot of different purposes. These Superstock Figure 8s, especially right now with the way the track is, it's not too hot out there, starting to creep in the shade, they're really gripped up. I think these are some of the faster times we've seen on the year for these guys.
Yeah, this is...
And girls.
Yeah, this is perfect temperature. It's about, I would say, close to 55, 60 degrees. Just a little bit of sun going through the north turn there, but not enough to make the track too slick. So yeah, this is probably some of the fastest times we'll see all year long as we get farther and farther into summer, as hopefully the temperatures will start to warm up, as that will make for a slick track.
Jones and Yargis brake check between the two of them as they headed their way into the intersection. Well, this division is the Monroe Grocery Outlet Superstock Figure 8s. And Monroe Grocery Outlet, your locally owned neighborhood grocery store. They offer name brand products, fresh produce, organics, wine, and more at 40 to 70% less than traditional grocery stores. See Terry and Linda at the Monroe Grocery Outlet. Monroe Grocery Outlet, the proud sponsor of our NASCAR Superstock Figure 8 class.
As, that intersection slowly starting to get a little bit on the heavy side through there with traffic, as we got the 195 and his old, that's an old, for the people watching out front there, that is the old Victor Fort bomber from the 80s and 90s, so really, really old Camaro that doesn't bend like a late model car does.
But it will if it gets hit hard enough. That's the thing with the intersection. Borison is doing his normal, excellent job of navigating traffic, but I'll tell you what, Cowboy is there, and Borison has not gotten away from him. So John Carlson keeping Quentin in striking distance in case the big mistake happens out of the 5.
And all it would take is if the 5 of Quentin has to slow down to miss a collision in the intersection, and the Cowboy is right there and he could pounce for that lead, as they're starting to spread out again. So we may even see that as they are slowly starting to dwindle away from the rest of the pack. except for looky, here comes the 67 of Mackenzie Dietz. That's very impressive. She was about half a lap away from them, and she has caught up to those two.
Absolutely flying as Dietz. One thing working in Cowboys' favor here is seat time here in the year. We'll explore that as we look at Vincent just barely missing the lead pack coming through, and it's going to cost him a spot. Manning's got opportunity to go low and pick that off, so move Manning up and into fourth as Dietz poking her nose to the outside. With 12 laps to go, 18 down, Mackenzie's looking to get second away from Cowboy, who Quentin Borison just runs this super stock figure 8 car here at Evergreen. Cowboy is getting regular seat time not only here in the Flyshacker car, but back east where he took his Outlaw figure 8 to Indianapolis. So he's racing darn near weekly at this point in time. It's a lot of seat time for him.
And you know what? You could be racing for 30 years, 5 minutes, or 40 years. The more seat time you get, the better you get. I mean, we see it on TV. There's a reason why Kyle Busch used to race the trucks every week. The Nationwide, or whatever they call them this week.
Look how much Kyle Larson races, right? Not just, and we know all about his open wheel dominance and what he can do with that, and all the times that he's jumping off to run with High Limit or the Outlaws or guys like that, but, you know, jumping into the Busch car once again and picking up seat time there. Kyle races as much as he can. For my money, there's no better driver on the planet right now than a Kyle Larson.
I agree.
Seat time is everything for him.
I agree, and yeah, you're 100% right. The more you drive, the better you get. You learn everything. Every time you get on this track, you're going to learn something.
Speaking of which, we might have a battle for the lead here. Who's going to be able to lean on their experience in getting through this traffic better? Borison, Carlson, Dietz stacked up like sardines in a can. Neither of them can get past Southard. Who's going to be the first to jump out of line?
Yeah, this will be interesting here because, you know, in the figure 8 division, they don't give out the blue flags, which is the move over for being lapped. So if you don't move over, you kind of have to create your own destiny and move them over if they are going to cost you a position. And I'm starting to see that as Borison is slowly giving just a little tap to get him out of the way, saying, hey, buddy, this is not your race. Get out of the way, as he definitely did. And that actually worked out perfectly for all three of them.
I think he might have just given the love tap at the right point in time there to get past that next piece of traffic. So Borison gets through the two slower cars that had him gummed up. Dietz taking a look to the inside of Carlson. Carlson swinging wide, thinking about making the move to the outside of Borison. Couldn't quite get there. As Quentin holds on as we're down to 5 to go, and the race up front is hot.
Looks like a 3-car train race between our top 3 right there, as now it'll be clean for the time being for Boris, and he's actually able to stretch out that lead to about 2 car lengths over Carlson, as it's looking like when the 36 of Carlson gets up to the one-arm bandit, he's fast enough to be there, but he's not fast enough to pass him. Something's going to have to happen.
And he hasn't used the front bumper to move him yet. So, and I say yet, it's expected. A little bit of front action, bumper action does happen in these cars on a pretty regular basis, but right now, Quentin's got enough of a pad that he doesn't have to worry about it with 3 to go.
And between these top 3, you're going to have to use your front bumper sometimes, but these top 3 are generally not known for doing that. At least from what I can see. I don't race with them, but from an outsider looking in, that's what I see.
I have heard from Mackenzie that the way that Quentin and John race is very subtle with the front bumper. We're not saying it doesn't happen. They're just very good at not making it look like it's a heavy tag.
And that's a gift.
It is, absolutely. And she respects them for it. It's skill.
Yes, yes. This is figure 8 racing. It's still somewhat of a contact sport. This is what they're doing. And white flag 1 to go for the one-arm bandit, Quentin Borison.
All right, one more time around into the corner. Everybody runs each other clean through the turn, down to the final end. One more intersection pass. And Borison with the love tap from Carlson there. Mackenzie swinging wide to try to make something happen. Burning the tires up, but your top 3 stays in place just like that in a fantastic Monroe Grocery Outlet Super Stock Figure 8 finish. Let's go talk to the top 3 down trackside.
I'm an impatient person, personally. How on earth are you able to just bide your time, wait for an opportunity like you had there at the end, try to take that chance, but for all those laps when you're just careful, patient, waiting for your chance, how do you do that?
Well, I obviously didn't do it very well because I didn't get second, but it was pretty close. I was going to give them a run for the money. I saw them coming into the north, and they were stacking up, and so I was trying to make an outside pass, and I just did it I was a little too patient.
Fair enough. Driving that number 67. You've been consistent all season long. How are you feeling as it continues on?
You know, we're feeling pretty good this season. You know, we had some wins last year and some DNFs, so we're just trying to be consistent and try to make it up on the podium as often as possible and do the best we can for the fans and for our sponsors and our crew.
And speaking of sponsors, who would you like to thank?
I got to thank BECU, Rep and Welding and Rail, Bickford Ford, Ghostum, Delta Cams, Two Girls and a Leaf. I'm trying to remember my car. We just have so many people to thank, and you know, my mom and my dad and my crew. But really, who I want to thank tonight is my mom. Happy Mother's Day to my mama. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out in the stands. And just thank you guys for showing up and giving us a place to play.
Driver the number 67, Mackenzie Dietz, third place tonight. Well, Cowboy, the boots are back, but the belt's inside the fire suit. What's up with that?
You know, I got new boots. Angie made me go get new boots, so I got new boots, so that's part of it. And I got myself a new suit, and I just haven't taken it off yet.
You put on a good show every time you're out here at Evergreen Speedway. Hopping between an Outlaw Figure 8 and a Superstock Figure 8 this year, but at two different tracks. How do you carry over the skills between the two?
It's 31 years of racing, doing it out here, and you know, back east, I feel like a rookie against those guys, but it sure is a learning experience and a lot of fun racing with them.
Great car, great crew. Who would you like to thank tonight?
Well, I got to thank Bill. He's the one that asked me to drive the car after I worked on it, and the sponsors, Papa's Bar and Tavern, and he knows the sponsors. I don't. I just drive the car for him. And the machine works guy right here with us.
Driver the number 36, second place tonight. That's the Cowboy, John Carlson. Quentin, we meet often up here in the winner's circle. You put on a great race today, a class act, running that consistent line. How do you navigate lap traffic so well?
A lot of luck. You know, I've been doing this a long time, but just a lot of luck. You know, sometimes brakes just have to fall your way.
There were a couple of times you're heading to the intersection and everyone's scattering like they're fired off from a shotgun. But you just drive straight through. You plot your line and you know what to do. Is that just experience or is that iron will?
It's just a lot of trips through that middle out there, you know, and knowing the guys that you race with, knowing the guys who, you know, that'll run the intersection hard, and some of them that are just like, you know, I don't want to wreck my car. So, you know, I mean, you can kind of gauge a little bit off that too. Sometimes it's just throw caution to the wind and go.
And who would you like to thank for getting this win tonight?
You know, I want to thank Cowboy and Mackenzie for a great race tonight. That was a lot of fun. Unfortunate circumstances put me in the Cowboy up front, but it was great. And then Evergreen Speedway, you guys, Seattle 11, Brandy Hood Promotions, all the people out here, the tow truck people, the medical people, the fans here that come out here. You know, you're the reason that we get to do this. You know, Mary, she owns the car. Mary's Towing, Olympia Pizza House, and Monroe Motel, and so many other people. Keith Taylor, Brandon Lovely, Tommy Gap, you know, my mom and her boyfriend Ron, you know, they're out here hanging out and stuff, supporting me every race, and it's just awesome. This is just such a cool thing to be able to do.
Driver the number 5, race winner in the Superstock Figure 8s. That's the one-arm bandit, Quentin Borison.
After my second tour in Iraq as an F-16 pilot, I witnessed a family as their fallen soldier returned home. I felt a calling to help. Budweiser has believed in Folds of Honor for 14 years. Today, we honor our veterans and the 52,000 scholarships awarded to their families. That's enough to fill this stadium. Every limited edition case sold supports military families.
At Dubin Law, we don't take a dime until you win. so we only celebrate after justice has been served. Call Dubin Law today to get the compensation you deserve. Dubin Law. Tough, reliable, human.
Meet the Moore family. They switched from cable internet to Ziply Fiber and got so much more. Mr. Moore got more upload speed for next level gaming and live streaming to the masses. Mason Moore got even more done for his sneaker business, quickly uploading HD product demos and video conferencing without freezing.
Brad, you're on mute.
And now that her family doesn't need her for tech support, Mrs. Moore has more time to stream games into overtime.
Let's go!
Get more of what you love by switching to Ziply Fiber for $65 less per month than cable at ziplyfiber.com.
At Papa Murphy's, we build your pizza with the freshest ingredients. You take it and bake it fresh in your oven.
So technically, I make the pizza.
Right now, get the limited time Taco Grande pizza. Papa Murphy's, change the way you pizza.
Well, we have hit the part of the program that I've been looking forward to since we got this one up and on there. I've had it circled on my calendar, Chad. Northwest Sprint Tour time for a 50-lap A main event around the 3/8 mile here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. He's Chad Fitzpatrick. I am Caleb Hart, and this is going to be fun, boys and girls. Our program brought to you by All Ply Roofing. Driver's going to take a few laps, scrub the tires up, get some heat in them. You're going to see them not just trying to get heat into them, but they're actually physically trying to scrub any, I say debris, but like any loose stuff that they picked up. It's a very gummy tire, so they're trying to scuff them and get them as clean as they can for the opening lap. So that's the purpose of what you're seeing. Let's get a look at your lineup. It's a 10 invert tonight, with the front row being Tom Weston. That's the 32X car out of BC, sponsored by High Definition Concrete. Two is outside, one of the Michael Newman cars, Cody Ridge in the 41 from Snohomish, Washington, sponsored by First Line Systems. Row number 2 is Willie Ginn. Willie out of Idaho, grip suspension and design. And one of two Willisons in the field. Ryan Willison's the 41W from Surrey, BC, sponsored by his wallet.
And the number 12 of Ron Larson out of Quesnel, British Columbia. He is sponsored by his wallet as well. The 7D of Randy Dubois out of Redmond, sponsored by Geico. The 57, Evan Marginson out of Tacoma, sponsored by Westlake Commercial Properties. The 44B of Brad Uman out of Chemanis, British Columbia. And he is sponsored by Upland Contract.
Ah, that is Brad Almond. Almond is that one.
Almond,
there you
okay.
go. Aaron Willison, the winner of like everything open wheel for the last couple of years. The guy's a stud. He starts 9th out of Langley, BC. Tri-X Group sponsors the 14 car. To his outside, the new track record holder, Jeff Montgomery, set a new time trial mark earlier today. 33J from Langford, sponsored by Drayport Construction. Row behind them, Mike Anderson, Nampa, Idaho. Anderson Racing sponsors the 68. And Chase Sabato, the First Line Systems, number 19 out of Monroe.
The 9S is Sawyer Lind out of Abbotsford, British Columbia, sponsored by Kinetic Signs. And the 52 is Stuart Lee out of Campbell River, British Columbia. Eli and Sons Plumbing and Heating is his sponsor. The 8H of Chloe Hudson out of Post Falls, Idaho, sponsored by Northwest LED Lighting. And our final vehicle, the 11 of Troy Globe out of Abbotsford, British Columbia. He has no sponsor. We did have one other car that did not make the show. That is the 81 of Marty Rossler.
Ah, Marty, the veteran, former Full Classic winner.
Yeah, he's raced a little bit of everything here.
Oh, goodness. You know, we've seen him in a pavement late model. He's really good in a sprint car. He's run a Focus Midget. You name it. Marty is a jack of all trades. All right, 16 for 50. These cars are drastically going to change over a 50-lap race, so we'll watch how they handle early is not how they're going to handle late, and this is the best of the Northwest. If you got a name in pavement sprint car racing, they're here tonight with the Northwest Sprint Tour at Evergreen Speedway. Thanks to everybody who got together to make this happen. We're excited. They're running for $7,500 to win, and out of corner number 4, green flag, we're underway.
And that is the 32 of Jeff Weston grabs the lead as they go into turn number 1. 16 vehicles as he has a huge lead as they come off at turn number 2. And the 41 of that is Ryan Willison will try to grab second, and he is on a tear.
Wow, Willison firing off early. It is Weston, your early leader. Willison is the orange top wing 41. The black top wing 41 is Ridge. They're in the top 3 early here. With Ginn in the 61, he has built his own chassis, has the driver of the 61, so has some, I don't know, home track knowledge, some advantage as far as his car works goes in his mind, with Dubois, our former Trek champion, working his way up and around Ridge to the 41 to pick up a position in the top 5.
And look at Dubois using that outside groove, as it's definitely seems to be working right now. 50 laps. This is a big race for them. They have pretty small gas tanks. They go through a lot of fuel. So 50 laps is a really, really long race for a sprint car.
If any of them, and I'm not sure on the motor rules here, but I would anticipate that you're at least a third of a gallon a lap when wide open, and maybe a little bit more. So we'll see how it sequences out as we go forward. We're quickly 4 laps in the books, and guys, this is the fastest cars on pavement you will see here at Evergreen Speedway all year. Nobody rips quicker than an asphalt sprint car.
The fastest you'll ever see ever at Evergreen Speedway. I don't think there's any other vehicle that goes this fast.
I mean, unless you got the super mods back some point in time, but even then, as Aaron Willison in the orange 14 darts underneath Ridge. Nice crossover move, though. Forced him to the outside. There's the Elevate Racing Media drone shot. David Nelson giving us a look from turn number 3 at how this field is battling.
And they're slowly starting to spread out a little bit, so they're able to see what their vehicles are going to do here, as Weston's starting to stretch out that lead to about 6 to 7 car lengths, as we got Willison looking to the outside. I believe that's for that 4th position. So he started in the, I believe, the 8th spot, so he is definitely our front runner right now.
It is a good run up to the front for Willison, who is now sitting P4. Again, the handling of these cars now is not what the handling is going to be later. You're burning a lot of fuel. That's a lot of weight coming off the rear of it. As you're looking at Brad Almond's 44, that car is real heavy over on the right-hand side, which is good for getting on drive tires, but will wear that right side out a little bit faster, as Willison working on Ginn finds the middle of the racetrack, and forward goes Aaron Willison. Now it is time for some brother-on-brother work, as he's got to run down Ryan Willison up in front of him.
Yeah, we saw that in the Pro 4 trucks. Hopefully this ends a little bit better than the truck race. So as we come off of turn number 4 here, as we got Willison trying to get up to the next Willison there, as the 32 of Weston, he's gone. It's like watching Calvin Miller in the truck race.
He's gone for now. We're only 10, 11 laps into this, make it 12 at this point in time. Watch what happens as we've got a caution coming out. We'll go more into this in just a little bit, as we have got a car rolling to a stop. And that is the left rear wheelless, number 12 of Ron Larson. So Larson from Quinnell.
Around and around he goes. When he stops, he doesn't know, as he definitely stops there. So would you say that was a tireless effort by Ron?
Oh, Chad, that's brutal. Never good when the tire finishes further ahead than the car does. And unfortunately, you start dragging that rear axle on the pavement back there, and you mess up a spline or whatever happens, and it is unsalvageable at that point in time. So rare to see a tire pop off and a sprint car continue, as his race almost assuredly done.
Yeah, safe to say he's probably done for the night.
So here's the rule for the Northwest Sprint Tour. They try to go 2x2 on the first restart, and you can see a choose cone out there as well. If they don't get a lap complete on a 2x2 restart, they go single file.
Okay.
So we get a choose cone for the 2x2, and then they go single file if you can't get a restart. If you'll remember, some of our open wheel races have passed that restarts have been physical, and you just can't do that here in a sprint car, and especially not on 3/8 when you're carrying all the speed.
Yeah, they're easily probably going well over 120 miles an hour, and that's a lot of speed for a small 3/8 mile track. When they used to run on the 5/8 mile, they were probably pushing 160 miles an hour, so that was definitely interesting to see.
Have I ever told you about the time I hot lapped a pavement sprint car?
No.
I did it over at Freighter Raceway Park back when it was still up and going. It was just kind of a practice, kind of a play day, and a guy by the name of Todd Locust put me in a steel motor heavy car. It was a sprint car. It still went fast, and I got to about half throttle before I got scared. And that's half throttle on a car that didn't have as much power as these guys do.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a lot.
So we're back up and running. Green flag. That's, oh my.
Oh, Aaron Willison up and in the air. You're one of your prohibitive favorites, showing a shower of sparks. There's the caution, and Willison up and in the air, and something busted.
We got more.
More happening. Dubois is 7. I want to say Sabado's 19 got stopped, as you saw Willison get up and over the right rear tire of the 32 of Weston. And then there at the end, I can't quite pick up the other car. There's Willison. Yeah, he just... If I say he misjudged that, it's hard to say. From Ryan Willison's point of view, watch his brother get up and airborne. Here's from Dubois. Dubois is trying to get through. He tags the rear of Ryan Willison and then, gets a face full of race car. Or I think just knocked the GoPro way off.
Yeah, and we want to thank all of the Cascade Push Truck Association workers for grabbing GoPros. That is definitely something that you do not want to have laying on the track.
Brandy has a lot of GoPros, and at the same time, they're not cheap. So, way to save it. So, because that didn't happen, now we single file, and Ryan Willison will start in second. That gives Ginn third back. Should be Amon in fourth. And trying to pick up position number 5, but definitely a jumbling up of those cars in the field as quite the accident.
Definitely some odd. We had a little Dukes of Hazzard going on there in a sprint car. That's definitely not a good thing to have.
Oh, it's very bad, yes.
So I believe the one to go was out. Maybe we are going green this time by. Yep, yes, we are.
Yeah, you don't want to start right up on the bumper of the guy in front of you. You actually want to have just a little bit of distance. As Ryan Willison going to go up and around, he will get Weston. He brings Amon with him. As your top 3 changing pretty rapidly, and that's Evan Margison starting to climb his way through the field. Margison up to third on the restart as he barrels his way to the inside.
Yeah, Willison will grab that lead. It was really good restart for him, and Amon grabbing that second spot. 57 of Margison runs in that third position. As we got, I believe, it's so hard to tell the numbers.
Montgomery's 33J, your new track record holder who's working for.
Nice. Look at that. And look at Willison now. He must have changed something. He's back out and running again.
Yeah, Aaron is not afraid to send it. He's got a car that's working in the outside groove, already worked his way back up to mid-pack. As he's closing in on the back of Ginn, he is sneaking around. I think he's back into the top 5.
Wow, that's impressive. He started well around 14th position, already passed almost 8 or 9 cars in a lap and a half there, so that's very impressive to watch and very fun to watch too.
So he's 6th right now, and he's working on 5th. That's Weston to the inside. He's got a good line around the outside of him. You see a little spark from underneath Ryan Willison's 41W as the car bottoms out as it sets its way into the corner. Look out, Aaron Willison, tight margins, but he is back to 5th after just a couple of laps of caution flag and to the back of the field. We have got to thank Granite Construction, proud sponsor of our Super Sprint Car Series and a world leader in the construction industry. Granite Construction, award-winning company and great place to work. If you're looking for a career change, find your dream job today at graniteconstruction.com.
So we continue to watch Aaron Willison here slowly move his way up to the front here. As if you were just tuning in, we saw him do a little jump over another vehicle here, and he made his way through the pits and back out. So, but up front is the 41 of Ryan Willison and the 44B of Brad Oman as they are slowly working their way through the field.
Again, Willison in 5th, closing on Montgomery, the new track record holder. Remind you, too, all these cars that have been on the track the whole time, they're through about 2/5 of their fuel. 8.5 pounds a gallon. So if you think of it that way, that's a lot of weight coming off. As Willison looking to the outside of Montgomery and has a good line on him. Can he make the pass coming out of the corner? No. Just a little squirrely that allows Montgomery to hold on to it for now. But Willison not have to worry about the turbulent air off the back of the Montgomery car. Has clear sailing. Now Montgomery pushes at the apex. That forces Aaron wide. And Montgomery's going to hold 4th for now.
Definitely an impressive run by both of them as they're definitely making each other really work hard for it. Oh my,
that's
we got
your race leader. Race leader Ryan Willison kicking a wheel off into the green grass out there, and you can see the dejection on his face. Did good not to hurt any more of the race car, but let's watch into the corner. You saw him slowing.
Wow.
And bye-bye left front.
Kind of looks like it. We'll see, but yeah. Oh, and yeah, you could see the very upset, which understandable, as we'll watch and see what happens here. And it was the left. Oh no, left front. It looks like
wow.
Was it gone? No, it's still there. Left rear.
Wow. So now 2 left rears have kicked off of the course of this race, and that time it is your leader Ryan Willison who spits one out That gives the lead to Brad Almond. That shuffles Aaron Willison up another spot. It'll be Almond and Margison side by side in the front row. Montgomery and Willison side by side in row number 2 as the choose cone coming in once again.
So it looks like everyone's just slowly, it looks like as if they just doubled them up. I think maybe one person chose the inside where they could have gone outside.
It's really hard to get side by side with somebody in a sprint car. And you don't want to get, I mean, you've got in these cars 90 inches of wheelbase. That equates, quick math, 8 feet. If I'm right, 7 to 8 feet worth of actual like track position on the car.
Yeah.
You don't want to give that up.
Yeah.
Right? You're getting a free chance to start right next to somebody. Take it every time. I'd be shocked if anybody jumped way too far out of line one way or the other.
Yeah. So this will definitely be interesting to watch. Here is Aaron Willison in 4th, as he is definitely one of the fastest cars on the racetrack.
All right. Almond and Margison, 2x2 into the corner. We're 22 in, 28 to go. Green flag, big start as Margison and Almond crisscross down the front straightaway. And Almond will get away from him coming out of turn number 2. But boy, Evan looked like he had a good run. Here comes Willison closing in for second on Evan.
That was definitely an impressive start by all 3 of them, as they are still single file through off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway, and it is all Brad Almond up front.
Little sparkage coming out the bottom of the Willison car. Montgomery sits in position number 4 and a ways back from the battle in the top 3. Margison has not raced as much as he normally does at this point in time of the year. This is usually a driver you see climbing into a bunch of different cars across the Northwest in different forms and function. This is the first time we've seen him at Evergreen Speedway this year. So Evan knocking some rust off and doing a good job holding off Aaron Willison for now. Willison will look to the bottom of turn number 2. Will set it and go into the top of turn number 3.
We'll watch and see if this is going to end up like how it was the last time Willison looked to the outside, but he makes the pass so far, and that was a lot better than the time before that. I wonder if as the race goes on, his car is getting better as it goes, since that fuel burn-off is definitely playing a factor here.
For some drivers, what you do is you set the car up over tight in the early going, and you let the car come into you as it burns the weight off. You also have the ability to pull the wing back and get more downforce over the rear tires as you lose weight from there. As yellow flag is out, and for the second time, Ron Larson from Quinnell has shuffled sideways and off.
Oh, wow.
Wow, yeah. A lot of those drivers have gone down low, like into those rumble strips that you've talked about more than a few times.
And let's...
It was already getting sideways before he went around.
That's impressive that he actually made it back out, because I believe he was the one who lost that tire.
Must not have hurt the rear axle down in there.
That definitely didn't help.
No, definitely not. So we're closing in on halfway through this main event. We're going to take a time out here. Our show brought to you by All Ply Roofing. We'll have more of it coming up next on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11.
Seems like everyone's going country these days. Let me show you how it's done. Yep, that Nashville Hot Sweet Heat is here on my 100% all-white meat popcorn chicken starting at $6.99. Tastes good to go country. Get so much more.
Welcome to Jack in the Box.
Summer's here, and with the new Toyota, you can go here, surf's up, here, woo, and here.
Now get a powerful new 25 Tundra with low 1.99 APR financing. Or you can lease this rugged new 2024 Tacoma SR5 for just $259 a month.
Your summer starts here and just keeps on going.
Toyota, let's go places.
Attention race fans! Evergreen Speedway is open and racing every Saturday night in Monroe.
Weekly NASCAR Regional Series includes Summer Showdown with world-famous figure 8 racing, drift events, and demo derbies,
Plus monster trucks and fireworks shows. Evergreen Speedway is your family's entertainment destination with something for everyone. Racing every Saturday through October 4th. Military with ID and kids 10 and under free. Evergreen Speedway. Be there. Details at evergreenspeedway.com.
Some people think going country is cheesy. I agree. Like deliciously cheesy. Yep, your favorite mozzarella sticks are back. Now with that Nashville Hot Sweet Heat, starting at $4. Get so much more under $4.
Welcome to Jack in the Box.
Home Track Heroes rumbles on with the Northwest Sprint Tour here on our show. We are about halfway through the main event. I'm Caleb Hart. He's Chad Fitzpatrick. And Home Track Heroes is brought to you by All Ply Roofing. Your race leaders, Brad Aumann in the 44. Aaron Willison in the 14 has been involved in a caution, gone all the way back to the back, has come all the way back to the front. He is outside row number 1 here on the double file restart. In-car video with Cody Ridge as we will work through the corner. Yellow light's still on, and looks like 1 to go here, Chad. This has been a good race so far.
It has been good. It's been interesting. It's been all the above, I could say, at this point.
And we've still got, we started 16. Sure looks like we have 13 left out on the track, so it's enough to get into some traffic for sure before this is going to get over.
And Ron Larson's still out there, too.
Look at Ron.
Look at that.
It's the sprint car that never dies. The thing's a tank. Holy cow. So Aumann will restart. Willison will be next to him. Second row, you've got Margison and Montgomery. It's a good start for Brad Aumann. And that's a benefit for Margison, who can stick a nose inside Willison for just a second to make him think about it. Although Evan really not powering down the back straightaway. Front two got away, long ways away from him.
Yeah, that was definitely a good start by Brad. And then how the 14 of Aaron Willison definitely got up there in contact for the lead as those two rubbed tires off of turn number 2. And let's see here, as they are still side by side as they go into turn 3, contact between both of them, and oh boy.
Oh, and Willison backs it into the tire barrier. Aumann, your leader, down on the grass. Boy, that got physical, and it got physical in a hurry.
Let's watch and see here. So, yep, unfortunately those two tires hit again, and you're just along for the ride, and he goes tire bowling, unfortunately.
Takes out your top 2, and watch it started right here. Willison down, Aumann. You could say that was an innocent touch of tires.
Yeah.
It's hard to say that about turn 3. Yeah. And at the same time, there they go flying, and there you're watching your lead 2 having some issues. Here comes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Willison is coming across the track. Thump! Right with the head and neck restraint and the helmet right into the side of the Aumann car, and no longer will they be exchanging Christmas cards. Dang.
Yeah, that was definitely some interesting things that we just saw there.
I would love to watch that replay like 15 more times,
yes.
And especially if we had different angles of it in turn 3. Turn 1, 2 guys racing hard, going for position. I could see that tire bump there, right? Turn 3, I would have loved to see if Aumann's car had unhooked a little bit and come up track, but like the contact was enough to take the both of them out.
From what I saw, it looked like that Aumann may have just drove it in a little too deep.
Could have been.
And that's unfortunately what happens in sprint cars. If you hit tires, you're just along for the ride. Kind of same thing with stock cars as well.
Yep. Now, if you've noticed, the ticker just took 10 laps off.
Yeah.
So we've shortened this. Obviously, we've got curfew at Evergreen Speedway to deal with, as well as
fuel.
Yes, and these guys have burned a lot of it so far. So we're going to go down to 12 to go, as opposed to 22. And for the first time in this main event, Evan Margison now leads. 10th place starting. Jeff Montgomery is next to him. And the 32, your early race leader of Tom Weston, sitting in position number 3.
So this is restart, I believe, number 5 now. So here they come off turn number 4. Good start for Margison as we are off and running, and we are green flag again.
41 of Cody Ridge sits in position number 4 as he works to try to pick up a top 3. And Margison, an excellent front runner. That is a guy who's very comfortable being in the front of the field. So comfortable that a few years back he had the nose wing fold up on him and obscure his vision, and he still won the race.
Yes, I do remember that. And he's really good at restarts too. I've been really noticing that. He definitely has the good run coming out of 4 to take the green compared to everyone else, as we still got some good battles up here between 4th, 5th, 6th, all the way on back.
For the first time, we get to talk about the 9S of Sawyer Lind, who has worked his way into position number 5. Lind, a graduate from Deming Speedway, the micro sprints. He is the 1200 crew chief for Tyson Cross and a former Northwest Focus midget driver on the dirt and pavement. So
he's got a good resume there.
Indeed, has a good run going up into 5th. We have got to thank Speedway Chevrolet and RV Center in Monroe, your one-stop transportation and RV center. From new vehicles to pre-owned cars and trucks, Speedway Chevrolet, located here with any make and model you're searching for. Speedway Chevrolet, they're a proud sponsor of Evergreen Speedway and the NASCAR Pro Late Models for over 25 years. Well, this one kind of settling in as we're down into the single-digit laps. 7 to go here for Margison. Car's probably not going to change way more than it has for now. Let's see if he can guide her home. Montgomery trying everything to reel him in with 6 laps counting and coming down.
And it looks like he might be slowly catching him, but the laps are winding away. He's running out of time, running out of real estate all at the same time. As we go back to 4th, and that is the 32 of Tom West in there, sitting in his lonesome here. We got the 12 of Ron Larson. That car
will not give up.
No, it will not. So
Love it.
You got to give it to him for that. As it looks like the 57 of Martinson is actually maintaining the exact same lead with the 33 of Jeff Montgomery.
Had a chance as Larson was running down Stuart Lee, the Campbell River driver. You want to talk about a guy with a varied resume? Lee, dwarf car driver on the pavement dirt, midget driver, Focus midget, pavement dirt, has an asphalt sprint car too.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Dude does a lot of racing, so got a little TV time for Stuart. He paid me to do that, by the way.
Oh, okay, good.
He paid me in Canadian, so.
Oh.
Cody Ridge, wide and varied resume as well, but has been primarily a racer for Michael Newman and the First Line Systems group of cars. Having a good outing here. He is 3rd. Cody, one of the guys from the Northwest that went down to that open wheel challenge that happened in Las Vegas over the course of the winter.
Nice, nice. So we got a good battle there. It looks like I can't exactly see that. The 52?
It's Stuart Lee.
Stuart Lee, look at that. With the right, left rear.
I've doubled my Canadian money. As here we go. This is for the win at the very end. Those laps got down quickly. And to the checkered flag, Montgomery gave Margison quite the run but couldn't get there. Margison wins, Montgomery 2nd, Ridge 3rd. Let's go talk to your winners, the Angel Inns Casino Resort Podium.
Cody, quite the opening night here at Evergreen Speedway. Talk about just trying to tackle that 3.8 ovals in a car as fast as that.
It's pretty fun. Cars stick so hard, it's not too hard. As much as getting in dirty air and around a bunch of other cars trying to do the same get a little dicey, especially on them restarts.
Yeah, had a couple restarts tonight. Who do you want to thank for helping you get out here 3rd place tonight?
The biggest thank is Newman Racing, the team we're racing for, and Michael. We got Drywall Distributors and First Line Systems, Inc. on the car. We'd really like to thank NST and George for putting all this on and getting everything going for us. A heck of a series starting off this year.
All right, let's give it up. 3rd place tonight, driver of the 41, Cody Ridge. Jeff, tough race tonight. Set a track record in qualifying, but get up here to 2nd after kind of a choppy min event. Just talk me through your day for the 33J.
Yeah, we unloaded real fast. We had a really good car. We had a heck of a car qualifying, and then when we put fuel to it in the heat race, it got tight, and we tried to free it up for the feature, and I ran most of the feature tight, and finally, last 10 laps, the car actually started to come on, so we're pretty happy, though. It's a fairly new car. We don't have a lot of laps on it, so we're happy we're there. We just got to fine-tune our main event setup, and I think we'll be all right. So congratulations to Evan. I'd like to thank Rob and Lee Late for putting me in their hot rod, and yeah, we're having a good time.
Yeah, good run more night. What more did you think you needed to get to Evan up there?
Well, I got to him. They checked it, and I think he beat me by 10th, which is pretty cool. And I like racing with Evan. He's a good dude. He races you clean. So yeah, it's cool. I would have liked to win it, but I'll take a 2nd after all the carnage. It was kind of a survival deal, but we're happy. The car's in one piece, and we'll go to State Line in a couple weeks and have some fun.
Anyone else you want to thank for helping get out here?
Yeah, I got to thank Dracor Construction, Maxim, Shark Racing Engines built this new motor over the winter, and it hauls the mail, so we're pretty happy.
Let's give it up, driver of the 33J, 2nd place, Jeff the Hurricane Montgomery. Evan, walk me through that day, walk me through that race, and what does it mean to be the inaugural Grand Am Can-Am Shootout winner?
It's pretty cool. I mean, after going winless last year to pick off a win right off the bat here is pretty cool. Especially with the quality of cars that's here too. So it's nice to see sprint cars alive and well back here at Evergreen, and look forward to coming back in August.
Yeah, tough race for you guys. Got kind of choppy there at times. When you're feeling a race like that, do you get nervous in there, or do you feel cool as a cucumber no matter what out?
I was just hoping for a long run. Our stuff was rolling pretty good there as the race went on, and those short runs were just kind of killing me. The restarts are tough. I mean, everybody's so aggressive, and you have to be really, just because once it gets strung out, it's so hard to pass. So, I was hoping for a long run there. Would have been nice to see, mix it up. But, yeah, all in all, it was good. A lot of people that got us here. Signature Texturing, Westlake Properties, Huck Starter Coffee, Fleet Service, Kennelly Keys, Frankie's Pizza, all the fans for coming out and, yeah, braving it.
Let's give it up. The inaugural Granite Can-Am Shootout victor, the 57, Evan Margison.
Well, congratulations, Evan Margison. Him, Mary Jo, the kids, $7,500 richer in our first big sprint car race of the year. Very cool.
And he survived, too.
Yeah, it's a big part of it. 40-lap win there. Let's move on. It's the All-Ply Roofing Legends coming up. They've got 30 coming up. Around the 3/8 mile once again. It's an interesting field. We got an interesting story to tell you as well about why the field's lined up the way it is. But for now, lineup includes Joe Decker, the 86 out of Duval, is on the pole, from sponsored by Lewis and Maine. Next to him, Jeff Muller, the 86X out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Thermotech. Row number 2. Shane Solwin's got a feature win on the year out of Snohomish. Car number 4, sponsored by Mr. Dizzy Motorsports. And Samantha Schwartz, the 40 from Mercer Island, sponsored by Mountain Equipment.
42A is Piper Alton out of Port Angeles, sponsored by Mom, Dad, and Aunt. The 15D of Davis Jacobson out of Wilkerson is sponsored by the Truck Shop. And the 20A of Andrew Reel, he is out of Oregon, has no sponsor. He's looking for sponsors. The 10 of Chris Thompson out of Snohomish, sponsored by Weather Right Roofing, Inc.
5th row is Dakota Gruchala out of Snohomish. Sorry, they get Gruchala, 27 from Snohomish, Apex Home Services. Jeremiah Johnson's the 13 outside of Dakota from Linwood, the LV Motorsports car. Rick McNeil, the 11M out of Bellevue, sponsored by Optimus Construction. And outside row number 6, Kaylee Decker, the 68 from Duval, sponsored by Lewis and Maine.
In the other 11, the 11 is Danny Arnold out of Pellop, sponsored by Northern Environmental. The 20 of Damian Harris out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Flowmaster Gutters. The 76C is Josh Vlock out of Edmonds, sponsored by Put Your Business Here. He's looking for one. The 98 is Aaron Flett out of Tacoma. He is also looking for sponsors as well.
How about this for row number 9? It's Braden Wager, your points leader out of Camino Island, the dirt cheap sewer Ava Cannon real estate car in the 30B. And the 19 of Jaden Moose out of Issaquah, sponsored by Mom and Dad, also a top 5 in points car. Chad, as these two are going out to qualify, and apparently it was the only two that it hit, but we had our one lonesome little itty-bitty rain cloud of the day come down and precipitate on them.
And they both had to do it the hard way. They're both top 5 in the points. They had to go through the B main. It was a 15-lap B main. They both transferred first and second. That's how they start right now. The main event is a little bit smaller. We went down to back to the old 18-car full main event. So we'll watch and see what happens here. It is Joe Decker leading the way as they come off of turn 3 and 4. Very, very slow start. Joe Decker will take him through the field, off of turn number 4, and we're back up and running. Legend time. Here we go.
Yeah, it was a snail's pace there coming down the front straightaway, but it's what Joe wanted to do. Leader sets the pace. We're off and running. As Solwin already digging to the inside for second. The veteran picked up the feature win the last time the Legends were out here, already settling into the 2 spot with Decker the leader and Solwin coming after him into turn number 1 for the lead.
Yeah, he's definitely wasting no time. Shane Son looks to the inside of Joe Decker as they come off of turn 2. He will grab the lead. He is going to set sail, and he is gone with about 2 car lengths over the 86 of Decker. Samantha Schwartz sits in 3rd, 4th Piper Alton, and 5th is the 15 at Davis Jacobson, and that's how they run right now, single file at the paint.
So I've said it a couple of times tonight at the risk of sounding like a broken record, but you've got another guy that's out in front of a field that's very comfortable leading races. Shane is very comfortable being the guy who says, all right, this is the pace I want to run at. Here's where I'm going to be, and if you can beat me, so be it. Right now, he's watching in his rearview mirror. Schwartz in the 40 peeked to the inside of Decker in the 86. She's got a good line, but couldn't make the pass in those corners.
Looking good going into the corner. We'll watch and see if she has some good speed through 3 and 4. Seems to have a little bit more speed through the middle of the corner, but Decker gets her coming off of the corner. So it's kind of counterbalancing both of them. Where one's weak, they're good. Where the other one's weak, they're good. So, but that was a good bobble from the 86 of Decker as they came off of turn 2.
He was absolutely loose as a goose coming through the corner, but you look at it, he stretched it from Schwartz over the course of that lap. As we will see a caution flag. JD finds Piper Alton to the inside of, I think that's the second turn, and let's get a look at it.
Down the,
it's 3rd corner.
So let's see here how this happens. It's the hard part is very dark. So we'll watch and see here.
There's Alton running up in the back of Damian Harris, and that car started to unhook in the middle of the back straightaway, almost like dipped the tires just far enough off to send the thing spinning. So, caution flag is out. We will come back. We'll finish the All-Ply Roofing Legends main event next here on Home Track Heroes.
Place your bets. Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, bet, and win. Bet on your favorite sports anywhere on property with our mobile app. In the casino, bet. In your hotel room, bet. At dinner, bet. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the bets begin.
Living with opioid addiction can be a struggle. Sublocade with counseling is for adults with moderate to severe opioid addiction who have started treatment with a dose of oral buprenorphine or are being treated with buprenorphine. Sublocade may help you keep moving towards recovery. Sublocade continuously releases the medicine buprenorphine all month with no real daily ups and downs. Buprenorphine is known to reduce cravings and block the rewarding effects of opioids.
Sublocade may cause harm or death if injected in a vein. As an opioid, it may cause serious life-threatening breathing problems. Ask about naloxone for opioid overdose. Get emergency help right away if you're faint, dizzy, sleepy, confused, have problems breathing, seeing or talking, or if naloxone is given. Don't take with other opioids, benzos, alcohol, or other drugs, including street drugs. This can cause severe drowsiness, decreased awareness, breathing problems, coma, and death. In emergencies, tell medical staff you're on Sublocade for opioid dependence. This isn't a full list of risks and side effects. Talk to your doctor and read patient label for more information.
Don't give up. Ask a doctor if Sublocade can help you keep moving towards recovery.
We appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on a Sunday night on Seattle 11. This is Home Track Heroes, brought to you by All Ply Roofing. I'm Caleb Hart. He is Chad Fitzpatrick. And if you were tuning in to see the Big Bang Theory, well, you kind of have Big Bang race car here. As far as the Legends race go, although it's been pretty tame so far, Shane Sawin leads early. Joe Decker, Samantha Schwartz running up in your top three with a lot of laps to go, 26 laps to go here in this one. See what Sawin can do as he brings us back to green.
So he's definitely been the one to beat so far this year as we're going to go green. That was a very fast start as we are green once again as Schwartz to the inside of Decker as they go through 1 and 2. That was a very good start for Schwartz as they come off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway, and Schwartz will grab second for the time being, but we are going to go yellow here.
Yeah, you can see him whether you're watching the left or you're watching the in-car from the Jeremiah Johnson GoPro. And once again, big thank you to Brandy because she put a lot of GoPros on a lot of cars and had to go chasing after quite a few of them.
Yes.
As well. Her and Saxon and Ashley doing some great work for us on that. And I guess they must not have liked the start.
I think so. I think that was a little bit too fast for what the officials liked, so they're going to tell Shane, slow it down a little bit, make sure the field goes with you.
And depending on your flagger and your place, you will see a lot of guys, a lot of veterans go, yeah, I'm going to jump this a little bit. Make them make 100%. The call on you.
Try to thread the needle here, see what you can get away with.
Yep.
Now Shane knows. So, and the other thing is they told him if you probably do that one more time, you're going to go to the back.
Yeah, he'll probably be more conservative here, and that really offers an opportunity for Decker to push the envelope if he wanted to.
And that was a perfect start right there. Side by side at the line, we're green again. And Schwartz could not get that good restart like she did that last time because Shane stayed with the field this time. So, but they are still side by side as they go into turn 3. Andrew Reel, Davis Jacobson, Jeff Moeller, that's your top 6 right now as they run side by side all around the racetrack.
Oh, Andrew Reel is using that front bumper. He is muscling his way up and into the spot. Down low goes Reel in the 20 car and push him into what I believe is P3 at the moment.
Yep, sitting in third. He's raced Pro Late models a couple times this year over at Tri-City Raceway, Wenatchee Valley. As we got another caution as we'll watch and see what happens here.
All right, so Seattle 11 camera crew has got to look at it. That's a hood sitting on the raceway. And here we go, replay time in through the corner, and
there it goes.
Bye-bye, flying chickens in a barnyard. There goes the hood.
So watch Aaron's point of view right there. As looks like he's just out for a nice Saturday night drive, and then there it is.
Wow, well, if you can dodge a hood, you can pretty much dodge everything.
Yep, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. So let's see if he can do that.
Contact with McNeil, Wakers flying blind, and then it comes flying off the race car. Well, all right, Braden might be in a better spot at the moment.
A little bit lighter.
Yeah, for sure. doesn't have to worry about a hood flying up in his point of view anymore. There is some dangers to that, too. You know, we're not completely devoid of debris. There's a rock that hits the racetrack every once in a while, and you get a rock into that engine compartment at the speeds that they can come. That could be a big problem.
And on this racetrack, especially on the 3/8, that's known for happening. We got, you're surrounded by dirt on the 3/8. If you go a little too high or a little too low, and it's very common for that to happen and a rock to go flying up and hit something.
You look at it, too, they're running last tonight, so that is maximum kick up from stuff up and onto the track, and especially as they get into the outer groove up by the wall. We really see it on a long late model race day, or like our big late model shows like the Showdown or the Galloway, right? The top of the front straightaway just gets accumulated with rubber pellets.
Oh yeah, you can hardly walk up there. It's that bad. But we are back to green, and it is Shane Son once again. Joe Decker hanging on for dear life for second as Schwartz once again look to the inside. Great battle up front throughout the whole race.
Yeah, Joe needs to get down here in turn number 1. He needs to get off that high groove where he was, and he will do exactly that coming out of 2. That shuffles Schwartz backwards as Real in the 20X. I think, if I remember correctly, Real has got Ricky Arnold overlooking that program with the Legend.
Oh, okay.
He's out there and running in him, and Ricky's a really sharp cat. He's been around this game for a long time. So the 20X looking awfully good up in third today. Got a lot of good help in the pit area. That helps.
Yeah, that definitely does help as well. Those three are all fighting for their spots. Shane Son is opening up his lead to about 3 car lengths over the rest of the field. Joe Decker hanging tough in second as Real trying to find every way. But it's interesting to see Decker leaving the outside lane open, but it seemed to work there. He was able to use that momentum and turn the car straight coming off the corner where Real couldn't do that.
That run he keeps getting off of turn number 2 that opens it up down the back straightaway has been a huge help for Joe. Real coming in on him. He will make a bit to the inside in 1, but Decker, at the point in time where he gets that momentum rolling forward, just really strong exiting the turn. And that keeps him in the 2 spot, at least for now.
Yeah, it's definitely working for him right now as we speak. But one of these times, Andrew Real might get a really good run through the middle of the corner and might make the pass. But I'm starting to see here that Decker may have figured that out because he went back down to the bottom.
That was fun. Punch, counter punch, right?
Yeah.
As we're going to look at Joe's daughter, Kaylee Decker, in car on the footage. And she's amongst that pack of 6 race cars right now. Make it 7. They're all dueling for position back there, including the now hoodless Braden Wager.
Yeah, running a little bit light. He is currently our points leader. As now we go back to up front, that is our battle for second, Decker and Real. As, getting a little close there. Bumpers almost hit each other to 3 and 4. 19, make it 18 to go. As we still got a lot of time left in this, but this is definitely a good battle shaping up.
Yeah, Joe is trying to force the 20X of Real down onto the rumble strips. He said, if you're going to go underneath me, you're going to have to be under that white line to do it. As he's made that slight correction to his racing groove. And you see it, he is definitely narrowing his entrance to the corner, but that's helping him guard that white line at the apex. And Real's going to have to counter adjust here to make something different happen.
Yeah, that last lap that I saw, he's done it the last couple actually. He opens the door just slightly, goes into turn 1 a little later, and then he turns right down. But that time, Real was able to get right alongside Decker. That is our battle for second. They are side by side, and now give it to the 20 of Real as they go into turn 3.
Nice move by Real. Right place, right time for him, as now it is Schwartz quickly up on the back of Decker. See what she can do with the veteran, as Shane saw one. It's almost a straightaway worth of advantage. That battle between Real and Decker certainly opened up a lot of track space for Shane to enjoy.
And we'll now see if Andrew Real can track down the 4 Shane Son. He's got a lot of time. Well, actually, not really. We're halfway down through this 15 down, 15 to go. So it's going to have to take a caution for Andrew Real to catch up to Shane Son here.
Now, it's the Legends. We are used to seeing yellow flags. It's rare that you get a gigantic green flag run, especially all the way to the end. But you can never bank on that. As
they're working on it right now.
They're trying. Danny Arnold at the 11, a little contact to the back of the 11M of McNeil. The hoodless Braden Wager continues on. I don't know if that's the nickname that he wants, but it might be the one that he has earned.
Yeah.
As we are sitting here and thanking All Ply Roofing, because they're the guys who help bring us Home Track Heroes all year long. Is your roof keeping up with all the weather, washing the dishes out? Call All Ply Roofing for a free estimate at allplyroofing.com. Your residential and commercial roofing team, All Ply Roofing.
13 laps to go. Shane Son still way out front. Andrew Reel not closing in at any time. So once again, we will need a caution for them to do that. And this has been, and I'm afraid to say it, but it's been one of the cleanest races I've seen with the Legends probably within the year so far. They were rough starting this year.
As if you didn't lay the whammy on Ron Larson from Quinnell, BC, in the sprint car race nearly enough. No, now you got to pull that on us in the Legend name.
Yeah.
That's all right.
You know why I can because I'm up here, not out there.
That's right. Well, we'll see what happens next time you're in the Pro Late model and how much I can talk about Chad Fitzpatrick.
Gosh.
God, yeah.
Don't say a word.
I won't. I'll do my best. By the way, you were supposed to get a word of the weekend this week because we're getting bribery from the guy that's going into the hospital tomorrow.
Yeah.
Did you work it in?
No, I didn't. Well, I worked in the quote.
Okay, good enough.
Yeah.
Wager in the 30. You've got the in-car on him. Works his way into the bottom of turn number 3 as he is tight up on... Got to find the driver roster because it's hard to see this number. All right, so we're tight up on Decker, and he will make the pass.
Look, those cars look very similar.
Davis Jacobson was the 15 car in that. Jacobson was running the top 5 for a long time. He has faded since this yellow flag restart.
And this has probably been, like I said, I don't want to talk bad or anything, but this has been probably the longest green flag run that they've had all year at probably almost all the racetracks. So this is definitely interesting for them. They're all learning at the same time to see what these cars are going to do on long green flag runs.
Tip of the hat to these drivers doing a really good job making clean laps here as we had one of the cars that couldn't pick out the number. It happened so fast, cut way down out of the corner.
I believe that was Moeller.
Nice move, Moeller. This is for second. Schwartz has reeled in Reel. So not only has Reel not been able to catch Son, but here comes Schwartz, and the battle for second is not over with 6 to go.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to get into defense mode here as we'll put the 98 of Aaron Flett down a lap as he will get out of the way and not hinder our leaders in any way. As, it's looking like the 40 of Schwartz is right there. So we got 5 to go, and we got a caution.
That's on you.
Alton.
Piper Alton around.
So that's 2 strikes on the 42. We'll watch and see what happens here.
All right, coming off the second corner and watch coming in. Happens so fast in these little short wheelbase high power cars.
Yes, it's very easy to do that.
And you can see the back end coming around right after she picks back up on the throttle. So Alton brings us to a stop. Shane Solwin's lead gone. However, we know as long as he can get this restart in how much stronger he looked than Reel. What this does, though, is double him up everywhere in behind him. So Reel's going to be on the outside. Samantha Schwartz, who was right closing on Reel, will now have the benefit of the inside lane here in this restart. If they can string Reel out on the outside, she's got a chance to get by him.
Yeah, her car was looking really strong as the green flag started running, as the laps were winding down. So we'll watch and see. But look at Braden Wager from 17th to 5th.
Ooh,
if they had a hard charger award, he would definitely be the winner of that one.
Nice scramble by him. How's Jaden Luce done? We have not seen Jaden at all.
Running
9th. All right.
So still, that's some good. He picked up 9 spots.
Absolutely.
So they're 3 wide going into turn 1 there.
And I think that was Jaden Luce, who was all the way down on the bottom picking up a bunch of positions.
Made it work out. So they are still side by side as Luce moves into, wow, that is some good traffic maneuvering right there on Jaden Luce's part as they move into
He's
5th.
Right behind Wager in 4th. So still a chance for Luce to get by Braden and make some points on him. Now look at this at the front of the field. Andrew Reel, a renewed sense of optimism as he's right up on the back of Solwin, really thumping and hammering on him here at the tail end. So Reel had a little extra left in the tank, might have just needed a second to breathe as he's bidding for the lead, and we will go yellow.
And we got some more cars going around. Looks like that was Jeremiah Johnson. We got Ricky Arnold and the 27 of Dakota Gurchella going around as...
It started with Arnold, who got into hot, and Gurchella ahead of him just spins out independent of the accident. Arnold starts it. Wow, Jeremiah Johnson got a bad break there.
Wow, he definitely, another Dukes of Hazzard. We've seen that twice now tonight.
Wow. Full send on the Legend. It's like Legend autocross at that point in time.
He's flipped that car before, so I think he might have had some flashbacks there.
Good.
So scary situation there. Luckily ended not like it did a few years ago. So we'll rack them and stack them again, and we'll try this again.
All right, so Solomon got himself just a couple of laps complete, but he was by no means away from real here. Wager starts 4, Luce now starts 5. Dynamics still changing up the front of the field, and again, Solomon's going to need a better start this time. He needs to get away from Real.
Yeah, Real could have possibly made that pass. It looked like he was setting up to go into turn 3 before he went to that caution. So we'll watch and see. Very few laps to go, only 4. So this is definitely anyone's race to win at this point. We are off and running. Green flag, dead even at the line. Good start for Real as he drives right alongside Shaden Son.
Son downstairs, upstairs is Real, Schwartz and Wager and Luce all keeping close enough contact here. As Shane's going to retain the lead here on the restart. Big bid to the bottom. Slamming the door shut is Solomon going into turn number 1.
What a great move by both of them. A little bit of a love tap from the 20 of Real to the back bumper of the 4 of Shane Son. No harm, no foul, as Samantha Schwartz hanging on for dear life for that 3rd spot. As we got 2 laps to go, Son really loose as he hangs on.
I think he was wrestling that car down low so he couldn't get cut under going into that first corner. You remember how low Zaretsky used to enter going into that first turn?
Oh, yeah.
I think Solomon's saying, all right, if you're fast enough to go around me, you can. However, I'm not just going to give you a free rein down to the bottom of the racetrack.
So white flag, 1 lap to go. It is Shane Son, the 20 of Real. And look at Jaden Luce will grab 3rd. We got cars spinning.
Oh, together and pieces and parts coming off. Harris is 20 amongst others. But we are going to finish this. Checkered is out. Son holds on over Real and Luce. Turned out to be a fantastic finish, and what a scramble for Jaden Luce to make some points on Braden Wager. Let's talk about it. Winners to the podium to take the trophies and all the glory here.
All right, Jaden, the weather conditions threw qualifying off, so talk to me having to